to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Monday, September 8th, Village of Cornwall-on-Hudson Board of Trustees work session. I make a motion to open up the work session. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Instead of starting off with the monthly reports, we're going to go right to the resolutions. And it's not in order, but since our engineer is here and our time and his time are equally valuable, so we'll have him speak to the Maple Street water main project. So, Jason.
Sure. So a while ago, Mike had asked us to look at replacement of the water main down Maple from Willow to Laurel. I think that's there. It's had repeated breaks along it, and it's undersized, and there's a lot of issues with that section. And Mike has kind of engaged in a program to identify areas that need repair and replacement, and do that systematically, and to be a little proactive instead of responsive. So this was one of the first areas he's decided or asked us to target. So we worked for a while to get approval from the Department of Health. We've obtained approval from them now, and we are ready to go to bid. And I think that is what Mike was looking to do. I think our office has provided our contracts to Joe and maybe the specifications as well. I think there was some back and forth on some of the dates that to make sure they were consistent with the times that Mike would be available, and I think we've made those changes. So at this point, I think this is something Mike anticipated and the village has anticipated. I'm sure he's spoke about it before, and we've just been waiting to get approval. So we have plans I could show the board if anybody's interested tonight. They're outside. I didn't want to crowd the room here. Or if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
How long from start of the project, physical start of the project to when it's completion, how long would it take about, if you had to guess, Jason?
I think the period is probably going to be about 6 months of contract period, but a lot of that is going to be in procurement of the materials and that type of thing. I think once they get working, we're looking at probably about 2 months worth of work.
Okay. And going through.
I think your contract said 180 days from award of the bid to completion of the project. And then there's a daily penalty, I think, of $1,000 after that.
Yeah, so there's liquidated damages, and we want to give the contractor ample time to procure all the materials and fit it into their schedule.
So bidding this out, so essentially what you're saying is that this work will be done in the wintertime.
Well, I think it'll be done probably, we don't have to award for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could extend it if we needed to, but yes. That's,
Okay. All right. Just getting a feel for when it's going to happen. Okay. Are there any of the trustees, would you like Jason to go through the project?
I just wonder, is it right down the middle of Maple Street?
No, it'll be offset. So on Maple Street is actually fairly tight because there's drainage.
On both sides.
And sewer.
Yep, and we actually have to make some modifications to the drainage. One thing Mike has been fairly adamant about, which I agree with, is that there is provisions in health code that you can not have proper separation in certain areas if you encase the water main, meaning surround it in concrete or some other kind of impermeable material. But that makes it really hard to go back and repair that main at any point in the future. So in order to not do that, we are making some modifications to one of the intersections, the drainage in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only one cross street, which is good.
Yeah, altogether, it's, close to 2,000 feet of water main that's gonna be replaced. There's 1,800 feet on Maple, and I think we have some on one of the side streets as well.
How many services?
43 suspect.
I think 43 services.
Do you happen to know if the gas main not sure about, I know most of the services are plastic, but I'm not sure about the main.
I'm not sure if it's
Okay.
plastic or not.
I think in the resolution, it was a 1,770 linear
Feet,
feet.
yeah.
But that's just one area, so there's a more linear feet than that. Should we say no less than 1,770? For resolution,
It
just to make
must
it
be the
accurate.
side street.
Yeah, it's only 20 additional feet.
Oh,
So it's on one of the side streets. It just
Canterbury?
happens to be a different size water main because it's a spur.
okay.
I changed to 1790 then.
Plus or minus.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, 1,790.
okay.
This was identified, I mean, when I got on the board, I think we were talking about
Yeah.
Maple Street, right?
Yes.
This has
I think
been
it's-
4 years.
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
Again,
Yeah.
one of his original targets.
yeah. One of his long-term plans.
Mhm.
Any additional questions from the board? All right. So I will I will propose the resolution approving the bid documents and authorizing publication of bids for the Maple Street Water Main Replacement Project. Whereas the village board, in consultation with its water superintendent and consulting engineers, have determined the Maple Street Water Main and its appurtenances must be replaced. And whereas the project will include the replacement of plus or minus 1,790 feet of water main, 43 house service connections, installation of new fire hydrants and associated valves and materials. And whereas the village consulting engineers have prepared bid documents for the project, such as the village board can now solicit bids for the completion of the project in conformity with New York State general municipal law. Now therefore be it hereby resolved that the village board hereby designates itself as the lead agency for the project, as the village board of trustees is the only agency with authority to undertake, fund, and approve the project pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA. And be it further resolved that the village board of trustees classifies the project as a type 2 action pursuant to SECRA, since it is an in-kind replacement project. And be it further resolved that the village board hereby authorizes the village clerk to publish a notice seeking bids for the project and stating that that a pre-bid meeting will be held on October 2nd, 2025 at 11 a.m. at the project site in the vicinity of 99 Willow Avenue, Cornwall, New York. And 2, that sealed bids for the project will be received by the village of Cornwall and Hudson until 3 p.m. on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at the Village Hall, 325 Hudson Street, Cornwall on Hudson, New York, 12520, at which time they will be publicly open and read aloud. May I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much, Jason. We appreciate that.
So just, so if we receive bids on the 23rd, you'll have up to 45 days to award. And that will take you basically to the beginning of December. And then the construction, if we went 6 months out, would go into probably right to the beginning of June or end of May.
Okay.
So it was most likely, once all the materials procured and so on, it's at the beginning of spring.
Okay. Very good.
Do you happen to know whether it's calling for a complete road closure?
I don't think we anticipate complete road closure because we're able to keep it to one side. There may be some short duration closure when we work in the intersection, but other than that, along the linear parts, there shouldn't.
Just limit the two-side parking.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions for Jason? Jason, thank you very much.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on to the next one is a ZBA appointment. Jennifer Geller, who was on this zoning board of appeals for a few years. She helped us out. We appreciate her time on the board. She has resigned, and pursuant to that, there's a vacancy on the board. And because it's a vacancy, as in speaking with council, it's an appointment by the mayor. But I've already spoken to the members of the board, and the person I'm proposing to fill that vacancy is Scott Teresi. Scott Teresi is very well known in the village and the town. He's the president of the Chamber of Commerce. He volunteers in quite a few things, and just a solid community member. And I think it would be an absolute great addition to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I spoke to Scott about it. He did his due diligence, and he said that he would absolutely do it. So pursuant to that, where I will make the motion, whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals member Jennifer Geller has resigned from the ZBA, and whereas pursuant to New York State Village Law, Section 7-712, subsection 8, if a vacancy shall occur on the Zoning Board of Appeals, other than by expiration of the term, the mayor shall appoint a new member for the unexpired term. And whereas Scott Teresi fulfills the requirements of the knowledge, skill, and experience to perform the tasks required as a village ZBA member, now therefore be it resolved by the mayor of the Village of Cornwall-on-Hudson that Scott Teresi is appointed to the Village of Cornwall-on-Hudson Zoning Board of Appeals to fill the balance of the unexpired term of office previously held by Jennifer Geller, which will expire at noon the first Monday in April 2028. And that's it for that. Okay, we did Maple Street. Oh, let's move on to the PBA contract. So the previous mayor, myself, met with the PBA many times, and we have this, we had fruitful negotiations with the PBA over several months, and we actually came to a meeting of the minds actually several months ago. There was just some particular language that had to be ironed out between the councils, our council and their PBA rep. Both parties, the PBA has ratified the contract as of last week. And I'll just name one of the highlights in the contract. It's actually a memorandum of agreement that's attached to the underlying PBA agreement. But essentially, it's a 3-year contract that includes a 4%, 4%, and a 4% increase for the PBA members over that 3-year period, and with a commensurate increase for the part-timers. So the board has had the opportunity to read through the memorandum of agreement. Are there any questions? Okay, so I'll propose a resolution of the Village Board of Cornwall-on-Hudson approving the collective bargaining agreement between the village and the Village of Cornwall-on-Hudson Police Benevolent Association and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement. So whereas the Village of Cornwall-on-Hudson and the Village of Cornwall-on-Hudson Police Benevolent Association, the PBA, have an existing collective bargaining agreement, and whereas the existing collective bargaining agreement expired on February 28, 2025, and whereas the village and the PBA engaged in extensive good faith negotiations in 2024 and 2025, whereas on or about August 20th, 2025, the village and the PBA entered into a memorandum of agreement containing the terms of the proposed collective bargaining agreement for the period of March 1st, 2025 and February 29th, 2028, subject to the ratification of votes of the parties. And whereas the PBA has voted to approve the terms of the memorandum of agreement, which will be incorporated into a formal revised collective bargaining agreement within the time frame provided for in the memorandum of agreement. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved that the Village Board of the Village of Cornwall-on-Hudson hereby approves the terms and conditions of the memorandum of agreement to be incorporated into a formal revised collective bargaining agreement for the term commencing March 1, 2025 and ending February 29, 2028, And it further be resolved that the mayor is authorized to execute the revised collective bargaining agreement. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That's that one, and that's their agreement. Okay, and the last one for resolution is the filming. So let me just go to that. Okay, as everyone is probably aware, Cornwall on Hudson has been chosen as one of the prime locations for the filming of a TV series called Best Medicine. They've spent 4 days down on our waterfront last month, and they're going to be filming. They'd like to film over several days over the month of September. I think their potential will be back in October. So over the dates that they will be, hold on, where did I put my resolution? Give me 1 minute. Where did I put that? Hold on. Oh, here we go. Okay, the dates that they will be filming again, they're looking to film this Thursday, September 12th, in the vicinity of the Cornwall, primarily in the Cornwall Yacht Club area. And then on Friday, September 12th, I meant to say September 11th there, but on Friday, September 12th, in the vicinity of 53 on and in the vicinity of 53 River Avenue. And then Monday, the 15th, Cornwall Yacht Club. Tuesday, the 16th, Cornwall Yacht Club. There'll be 2 other dates that we'll address next Monday night, the 24th and the 29th. But for the purposes of tonight, I'm looking to pass a resolution whereby, one, we permit them, subject to their submission of their updated application, which I've spoken to the representative today, Akeem Greenhut, as well as their certificate of insurance, which they've provided before, but they will provide again, and a fee that we will be charging them. I can say, at least for the fee for this Friday, when we have to shut down River Avenue and Shore Road, but it's going to be intermittent. And with that, I will just advise that representatives of the village board, Trustee Galliano, and the deputy mayor, as well as the chief of police, met with the film company last week and went over the lay of the land, the terrain of how things would operate, just so the public is aware. Chief, if you just like to if you would like to explain how the road closures will occur on River and Shore, that would be helpful.
Okay, just to reiterate what you said, as far as River Avenue, it'll be intermittent when they're doing filming outside. So we'll have 2 Cornwall Hudson officers on at the curve of River Avenue, as well as one down at the bottom of River Avenue and Shore Road. So we will stop traffic for intermittence of about 2 minutes each time when they're filming a scene. And this will be from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. on September 12th, this Friday. And they will also be parking their vehicles on the far east side of Shore Road, closest to the railroad tracks. I've actually, I've just before the meeting today, I put out information on social media. I also went to the affected residents on River Ave and Shore Road and gave out flyer information as far as what's going to be transpiring this Friday.
Okay. Perfect. Any questions from the board about it? Okay.
Just
Yeah.
quickly, Chief, also on Shore Road, they're gonna have private flaggers, so to speak, correct?
Correct. Yeah, they'll be.
So there'll be a lane open on Shore and it will be River essentially that's intermittently closed. Is
That's
that
correct.
accurate? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Fire department and the ambulance corps has also been advised to, just in the event that there's any emergencies that are going to be on that date, so they're aware of it as well.
School district?
That I
Bus traffic?
have sent something out to West Point towards, as far as just to let them know.
So, and in regards to the fees, as we've done before, the 4 previous times that they've film down in the waterfront. It ended up being around 1,000 to a minimum of 1,000 per day. In this instance, at least for Friday, we were making sure the chief has already provided me the all-in cost to have our police officers deployed for the day. So we're making sure that we are recouping any expenditures from the police department side, as well as an additional fee for the use of our roadways. So, and that'll end up being $44,250. The other days, I'm meeting with the representative tomorrow to get some clarification in regards to parking. And so I'll be able to negotiate that as I did last time. Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the audio-visual permit for Dock in the Box Corporation to film in the vicinity of River Avenue and Shore Road on September 12th. Also in the vicinity of and on the Cornwall Yacht Club on September 11th, this Thursday. And let's see, September 15th at the Cornwall Yacht Club and September 16th at the Cornwall Yacht Club, for a fee of $4,250 for September 12th in regards to filming in the vicinity of 53 River Avenue, and subject to the submission of the completed application, the special events application, the certificate of insurance, and also permitting the mayor to negotiate the applicable fees with respect to the other dates, this September 11th, 15th, and 16th. May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that knocks out our resolutions. We can return to our, Joe, you're gonna head out? Thank you very much, Counselor.
Thank you. My work here is done. This is yours to sign.
Okay, thanks. All right, moving on. Let's start with our monthly department reports. First, we have the treasurer's report, and here's Megan. If there are any questions, our village clerk is here and treasurer. It's like this. Okay. The night class account continues to do well, which is good. Very good.
Did we change our, after everybody was more reassured about the safety of those funds, did we up our
We were
holdings
going
in
to-
there?
We
We-
did, we
Okay.
did. We invested more.
Thank you.
Any other additional questions for Megan? Okay. All right, next up, we have the building department. All right, okay, let's see, building permits issued. Site inspections. Stop work orders.
I
Okay,
would wonder about that one.
yeah.
Is that one that
I'll,
came to our attention already? I feel like there was one.
I think,
Is it,
Not Churchill, Prospect, maybe.
they've been cleared, I think.
Oh,
yeah, I
okay.
thought they were, yeah, that isn't the one. I'll find out from Manuel, make sure you can address that Monday night. Next up, we have the fire department. Mike unfortunately could not make tonight's meeting, Mike Trainer.
Chief is here though.
I know the
Assistant
chief is
chief.
here, I know, I was just about to say there, Charlie is here, he's more than capable of handling all the questions, so. Okay.
Chief, item 1 on the commentary here, we answered 100% of our calls at 0 personnel cost to the village. Is that meaning because we're a volunteer fire company?
Correct.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Well, technically speaking, Charlie, that's not technically right.
It's far less than the 2 million in payroll for Mazer ambulance.
Yes, no, I get that. But the all-in is not 0. Okay, moving on to,
Money well spent.
yes, the monthly police report. Any questions? The chief is here.
I had a appreciative resident say thanks for enforcement down on Bayview Avenue, and I also heard an anecdote of someone who was nearly sideswiped by a gray Mercedes while they were directing traffic into Donahue Farm for an event. Coming out of the village, heading up the mountain. But I see here 31 traffic summonses. I assume a fair number of those are related to that enforcement.
Yeah, I don't have the exact
Sure.
figures.
Breakdown.
I also, I think I sent the email, I forwarded this email to all board members too, as far as the statistical information generated by state police as well for their enforcement period. And they're gonna continue on periodic times to assign troopers to that area for speed.
I was surprised to hear the direction of travel of the anecdotal car that was driving at an unsafe speed through the intersection in front of Donahue Farm. They were coming from the village, out of the village. I guess they had hit the straightaway there and thought it was free reign.
All right. Any other questions for the chief? All right, moving on to DPW.
Cleanup day.
Yeah,
Does that coincide with the yard sale or it doesn't? Is that the spring only? Yard sale's coming up soon?
Yeah, I did with the Apple Time Fair, so that the yard sale and everything will be same time,
and when's the date on that, Dave?
20th.
Oh, the 20th. Got it.
That's
Okay.
That's the
Well,
the
pickup.
Monday.
Yeah, the pickup, the
Yeah, the
18th.
yard sale's the 18th, right?
Right.
18th
Yeah,
is the yard sale and
October
Apple Fest, right?
and Apple Fest, yep.
The Apple Time.
Apple Time Fair.
Apple time.
Apple
Thank you,
Fest,
Megan.
Apple Time Fair. One of those things.
Yep.
They had apples.
I saw the notice about the surfacing on Deer Hill and Braden Place and Mountain Road
Yes.
that went out today.
The
notice?
notices are gonna go to the homes starting tomorrow. I had Janelle put the notice up this afternoon on Facebook. And our I believe it went on our website as well. And I actually added a link if somebody wants to see the process
video.
that we're going to do, because it's different. So if somebody wants to see what's going on, what we're doing is fiber mat, and it's a preventative maintenance, which is gonna give us through the winter, and next year we'll be able to resurface the roads. And fortunately, we were able to secure funds from the work that Central Hudson did on the mountain area and other areas for pavement restoration. That's what we're using for the fiber mat. Well, we still work with USDA, FEMA, and try to knit everything together so we can get them into construction season next year to do the drainage improvements on Mountain Road before we repave it.
And thanks for getting the drainage improvements done in the rear of the firehouse parking lot. I know that was on your long-term list, so.
Yeah, and you saw the Public Works School in Lake George this year.
Yes.
They moved it up. It's earlier this year. It's the first week of October.
Okay. Is that the one, are you going to that and, or is it?
Yeah, Wayne and I,
Wayne?
you went last year
Yes,
with me
yeah,
to,
yes.
Wayne couldn't make it.
Yep, okay. All right. And moving on to the water department. Since Mike couldn't make it, Dan Nye is here, so if you have any questions.
I don't have a question, Mr. Mayor, but I do think it's important for the public to know that the final cost for the Main Street Bridge water main improvement was completed under budget. So I just wanted to highlight that
Yes.
for the public.
In fact, they provided us with something to that effect.
It's in the notes
It's
on
in
the
the
report.
notes.
Yeah, no, I have it down here, but he
Yeah.
provided an allowance change order noting
Yes.
that it's a reduction. So yes. Okay. Monday. Okay. All right, and last up is New Windsor EMS. Any questions? I'll reach out to Mike. Let's see. Our call time, response time, 7 minutes, 8 seconds, or 7 minutes, almost. Yes.
Outside the remit of village business, does anybody know the details of that accident at 9W just north of the bridge that happened was it a week ago? It was right across from the Dunkin' Donuts by Yanoni's garage there. That
Yeah, they hit a couple of parked cars and
it looked like 6 cars were involved in that or something like that.
they were parked. I don't know.
So
what
like, so there was an accident on the road and it went on to the, okay. The fact that everybody didn't go, yeah, that means that it was mostly car damage, I trust.
Yeah.
Not like a huge disaster, just bad. Thank you.
All right, moving on to other business. Let's start with pollinator. Let's see, we met with Kate Kaminsky. I think I already went through this the last time. Then I'm repeating myself, but
We're waiting for them now to
right,
do the
yeah.
plantings.
We had moved the boulders. It's more
I went
appealing
to their
now.
meeting Tuesday night.
Oh, okay, so you want to update?
Yeah,
Based
no, they're ready.
They're ready to
They
plant.
changed a few plants.
Right, the nursery is holding the plants for us.
Yeah.
They'll be planted in September or October. I promised Kate that we would, without asking, I promised Kate that we would spend an additional $500 on the plants, because we were asking for some plants, native plants again, that wouldn't necessarily block the sign coming in and out of the village. And I think we were all also asking for some that would kind of overgrow onto covering the boulders.
Yeah.
So, even though the patina of the boulders will change over
A
time.
lot,
Yes.
changed a lot.
So, I'll probably, once I speak to Kate, I'll ask the board for another $500 next week. Okay, moving on to the Peace Pole. So Regina McGrade, who is the president of the Greater Newburgh Rotary Club, which includes the town of Cornwall and
Windsor.
Hudson, and New Windsor, because both the town and the village engaged them to begin our military banner program, and they've been handling that since the inception. Because we did that, they are gifting the town and the village a Peace Pole. So she has reached out to me a couple of times and I don't know if the town has chosen, I think they did choose their spot.
Library property.
Yes. So we are in the process of choosing where the Peace Pole should go. So any thoughts or suggestions?
Do we have
Bill,
pictures
go
of
ahead.
the Peace Pole? Like how
How
big
tall?
is it?
You know, I'll
Yeah, it's
bring,
pretty big.
I have
I
some
forgot
stats.
I have a
Do you have the
picture.
picture?
Yeah, I don't have, I have it. I printed it
have it. I
off.
don't
She
know.
gave me, Regina gave me two suggested ones, I guess. It's not
Yeah.
it's not an exact.
Well, I
So
would need to see.
it's like
what
about
you're
eight,
talking about.
it's about
It's
8,
8 feet. Yeah.
it's about 8 feet tall, and it's like a 4
Like
by
a
4.
4x4.
It's a 4 by 4 timber pole. with a cover on it. You can have, it's painted different colors or whatever.
And it says peace on earth on on all
Yeah.
sides in different languages. You
Yeah.
can decide what languages. I would just add that in parallel,
Mm.
which I think there was some confusion because it happened in parallel at the same time, the Presbyterian Church was approached with a proposal for them to have a peace pole donated, or maybe not even donated, but they may fundraise for it. But basically somebody came to them and said, you should do a peace pole. Here's how you do a peace pole. So they had raised that, and I brought it to the village board, but I think I didn't realize, and I don't think anybody realized, that it was a different inbound peace pole offer / request. So we're awash in peace pole requests.
For the
And-
church.
Well, no, the church to administer one.
A facilitator.
Oh, they
Yes,
don't want
yes.
to keep it.
They didn't
For
want to put it on the
themselves.
property. Their first thought was put it at Donahue Memorial Park, which the village board has heard that already and was in favor of Pagenstecker Park. But the pastor was at the Donahue committee meeting the other night, and they said, oh, no, we would love to, look around and see if we can find the right place for it. I said that the village board had already, mostly decided on Pagenstecker Park. They have requested a little more time before that decision is final.
What I'm just trying to make clear, are we talking about 2 poles or 1?
I think we would end up with a single pole in the village, and we
Yeah.
may reject one, accept one,
Yeah.
and maybe offer people some say in how it gets deployed.
Yeah.
But it's the same pole, though. My
Yeah.
understanding is it's what we said, a 4x4 that's about 6 to 8 feet
Yeah,
high
it's
with
about 8
multiple
feet.
languages that say peace on earth on it. And then that's it, that you can put like a little,
So
How-
who,
a little tiny bit of,
who is coming, they're coming back to you, Bill, to give you the suggestion, or what are they doing, or who's doing it?
I think I said to them that I would communicate to the board
Yes.
that they had asked for more time before the decision is
How,
finalized.
how does
as to
it
the
get
place.
put into the ground?
I think it's a concrete footing underground.
It's not, it's like digging a fence.
No,
but-
it's just a-
Yeah.
Apparently
there's
some
no
are,
concrete.
Drill a hole.
You don't
can
need
be like
concrete.
sort of
You
unfinished
don't even
wood
need
with the
concrete.
stuff routed in. Some are
And we
white
have to figure
painted
out
with
where we
black
should-
text.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
Last time we met, we had said Pagenstecker Park,
yeah.
but they're asking for us to potentially reconsider that.
So would it make sense for them to reach out officially to the mayor or to the clerk and put in, some sort of a request? Because not that I'm certainly doubting trustee Brain in any way, but to kind of come through a single trustee isn't
Yeah, they
really
just email
an
me.
official
Yeah.
form
I'll
of.
have Dave double down on the notification to you that they've
Yeah, I'm
asked
not-
for this.
I know people like to put a lot of things down on the waterfront. And I think it just ends up getting too many things down
Yeah.
there.
I did emphasize to them the number of requests we've had for things down
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
waterfront.
I would not be in favor of that likely.
And, okay, so next one up is the water rate study. So if you remember, Mike came to us many months ago. Trustee Galliano is on the water committee after I left it. But what Mike came to us with is a proposal by 2 companies. A third one never came about, right? Dan, it was just
Correct.
Raftalius, and the other name escapes
Yeah,
me.
one was a web-based
Right.
company, but that wasn't.
Is it mandatory we have 3?
So, the Raftalius proposal, Mike has indicated to us he thinks it's the best one there. He's tried over several months to get other proposals in addition to this and the other company whose name escapes me right now. But we don't have to make the decision tonight, but we'd like to make the decision next week. You guys have had the report. We've had it for at least a couple of months. Just to highlight it, the deliverables will be, let's see, the village has expressed interest in modifying the existing water rate structure to better address the specific pricing objectives. And so we wish to complete a village water study. So this study will address the revenue requirements forecast and financial plan development over a 5-year period. So they'll forecast the revenue for us, and And they will highlight the financial performance indicators. Second thing to do is they'll do a cost of service evaluation. So that will estimate the cost to serve the residential and commercial entities in the village and the town, and the results will be used to develop a potential fixed charges, class-based rates, or tiered residential rates. They'll also give us a rate alternative discussion and rate projections. So those alternative rate structures are analyzed, and it could be having separate residential and commercial water rates, which already do to a certain extent, utilizing rate blocks, tiers for residential customers to encourage conservation, and determining a justifiable rate differential between the village and town customers. And I read through the proposal again. It did not say the amount of time it'll take to do all this, but things will kick off with a kickoff meeting. We have to provide them with a decent amount of material, information, which I know Mike has already provided. But just take a look at the proposal. The amount for this is $49,000. I think after the water committee had met for at least close to a year, and us talking about this on the board for many years, I think it's money that's going to be well spent. But take a look at it for next week, and if you have any questions, hopefully Mike, he had some health issues. He's not here today, but we'll be able to answer questions. And if not, the gentleman behind me, Dan, and I will do so. Right, Dan?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Let's see. The sidewalk replacement, we're going to take this one out of order, Dave, right?
Okay.
We'll go to that in a few minutes.
Which one we're
Um,
talking about now?
That's the Storm King. No, I'm going to go to some of the other ones, the low hanging fruit ones. So electric scooters, I have this on here because one resident, and actually myself, or the other one had not a run-in, but I think if anyone has been walking around this summer, you've noticed that lots of young people are using electric bikes and electric scooters. And they're using them on the sidewalk, which for the younger kids, you want them to be protected. Unfortunately, you can't hear them. And one resident, he said, look, for the most part, the kids who have been going by on their electric scooters have actually given them the heads up, like saying, hey, on your left, on your right, or they've made noise so they could move out of the way. But you're seeing more of them, and it actually happened to me. I was walking down Hudson Street. I did not hear them. I had my two dogs, and they went around me. One time, the kids were very nice. They're like, sir, on your left. However, I think what I'd like to do is, and I've already spoken to Chief about this a little bit, and I've already spoken to council. Our code provides in Chapter 53 that no person shall ride or propel any bicycle upon any sidewalk unless you're less than 10 years of age. Now, look, I don't want to get into enforcing these scooters and so forth, particularly against the younger kids. I think for the most part, the children in Cornwall and the village are polite. However, and actually, what's funny, it also says here, no person shall ride or propel a bicycle upon any public street, highway, sidewalk, or in a village unless the bicycle is equipped with a bell or horn or other warning device.
A lantern?
Yes, there you go. So what I was going to ask the chief to do, and I've already mentioned this before, we spoke about it a little bit, and that is if you can take a look see what other municipalities are doing. You don't have to give us an answer today. If you can look into it, see what the other municipalities are doing. What I don't want to do is this. We're in a conundrum here. It's like you want the kids to be able to use the sidewalk because it's safer, right? For adults, a little different story. You're on an e-bike, you're on the street, got to have a helmet, you're subject to DMV laws. So I don't want to force the young people onto the street where it's, less safe. So it's trying to it's trying to find that sweet spot of maybe, in my mind, and talking to council about it, in my mind, after chief takes a look at what other municipalities do, you know, maybe it's one of those information campaigns with the police department, social media, letting them know, stopping the operators of the e-bikes and the scooters on, hey, you know what, be aware, maybe it is one of the things that, I'm not saying requiring, but I'm saying encouraging them to have some sort of device on their e-bike, on their scooter, to advise someone that, they're about to be run over, because you can't hear them.
Just to let
Yes.
you know too, in the beginning of the summer, so I copied and pasted the exact laws and everything to the New York State DMV site,
Mhm.
pertaining to ages and requirements and so forth. And I did put it on various social media sites as well as our local.
Great, okay.
I mean, I could do it again.
Yeah, no, I think you should do that again, but if you can find out what other municipalities are doing, and then maybe we could figure out some sort of, messaging from the board or from you, or whatever it needs to be done. If you find out what other municipalities are doing to message that. I don't want to get into changing laws for this,
Can I just ask a
Yes,
question?
yes, absolutely.
If there is a sidewalk, if they're on the sidewalk, who has the right of way? If it's a pedestrian or if it's a child on a scooter going 15 miles per hour? I mean,
I would assume pedestrians.
That's what I would say, yeah. The one who says,
so maybe that's something that needs to be explained to the children that are riding these scooters, that they do need to stop for people that may be walking, if it's elderly, if they're walking with dogs, if they're walking with babies, if there's little children, like they have to be the ones that have to be cognizant of what is going around them, not the moms and the kids who are walking down the sidewalk to always be watching, am I gonna get run over?
yeah,
And there is another flavor to this. We were talking earlier, and I followed a kid who seemed to be about 12 to me on a sort of hybrid scooter bike thing, electric, down Hudson Street. He was going faster than 35 miles an hour, just about 35 miles an hour. He had a helmet on, thankfully, but
Well,
he was
would have
kind of,
gotten he would have gotten a ticket
An
for
electric
that, like,
scooter, it's unlawful to go in excess of 15
Right.
miles an
yeah,
hour.
he was cruising, and
Wow, I
and he
didn't know
kind of
that.
low slung too.
they're
You
young.
know,
They're
yeah,
young.
and he seemed like a young fella.
Yeah, but,
I was looking at my speedometer, and he pulled away from me. So,
wow.
They have the radar.
The electric bikes can go very fast on Duncan Avenue.
mhm,
Yeah,
yeah, no doubt,
yes.
right.
Fuck Hills.
So, all right, do the best you can, chief, and report back to us. Thank you.
You guys.
All right.
You guys.
At least they're not loud.
All right, the riverfront tree removal. Dave, why don't you just give us a quick download on that?
With the park.
Yes, yes.
Well, first, I was very surprised with the tree out in front of the Presbyterian Church.
Oh, I forgot about that one. That's
I
correct.
had no complaints about that,
That's
which
excellent.
shocked me. Maybe people actually walked by and saw the stump before we ground it and realized that it was hollow.
I had questions from residents, but when I said that the tree warden had come from the town and confirmed that it was
Nobody got
necessary,
hurt.
and I described the rebar through the trunk, they were mollified.
So down at the Riverfront Park, I took a couple of pictures, but unfortunately I had trouble printing them. We took these down last week. There were a bunch of locust trees
Yeah,
and
they're
they're
garbage.
really small pictures. I apologize for that, but those were ones that came down.
They're dangerous too.
Yeah, you can see
The
the
tops
roots,
blow out of them.
roots coming up.
Yeah.
And,
Nobody wants trees to come down, and I understand that.
But the reason why this came up too was, I mean, I know you've been monitoring them, but didn't one of them come down, or the branch? Oh,
One
one
of them
split.
split.
Split in
It
half.
split right in half.
Right.
Tops
And it
blow
was
out of them.
leaning out, and it's amazing that when the trees are leaning like that, people put picnic tables under both sides of it.
So.
But,
okay.
Not that amazing.
the other thing that I'm gonna try to get you, I wanna go down and I want you to look at the willow trees down there. The other
Yes.
day, We had another limb come down off of the willow tree in the big park,
Oh, wow.
about 3 foot in diameter. It fell from about 30 feet.
Eey. All right.
Those willow trees are
They're
dying.
weak.
Something is killing the willow trees. There's a lot of dead in the 3 big ones we have. A little over a year ago, I had New York tree masters come in and prune all the dead out,
Mhm.
and they're half dead now. They're huge. I know nobody wants to get rid of them, but I think you should take a look at it and start considering replacing them.
Okay. If we did replace them, Dave, what would you suggest to replace them with?
I mean, we put another willow tree down at the other end, close to the yacht club a few years ago, and that has grown in really nice. It looks good,
Yeah,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
maintained it. We keep
They're
it,
easy.
we give it haircuts and keep it
Yeah.
looking like a
okay,
big mushroom, so it looks nice.
all right.
But
Sounds good. All right,
I
I'll-
think it's something that we should probably do. Maybe think about doing it over the winter.
Yes, okay. I'll go down and take a look with you, okay? Let me just see. Yeah.
And since we're on trees and locust trees, you want to jump right to the
Yes,
other
you
one?
might as well jump to that one.
Okay,
Yes,
so now-
thank you.
I didn't, last time I had
Oh,
the
boy.
wrong one when I met with you, but I
Yes.
made photocopies. These are,
Pass those out.
okay, go ahead. These are conceptual drawings from Storm King Theater. The first page is the way the layout of the property currently is. And the second page is the proposal to upgrade the back behind the building to add handicap parking, a handicap entrance into the theater on the back side of the building.
Mhm.
And my thought when they approached me and asked me to do this, I said, it's a great idea to have the handicap parking, and they're gonna get rid of the dumpsters back there.
Right.
All the garbage is gonna be gone. There's gonna be a nice little building. And there'll be 2 handicap parking spaces in the rear of the building.
Okay.
To incorporate our sidewalk and connect with that going down on Churchill Street.
Hmm.
But I said, if I was gonna do that, I think we need to replace the sidewalk in front of the theater as well, because anybody that's been down to I almost said Painter, sorry. The Storm King
Pepitini.
Lounge and Pepitini's and,
That sidewalk's bad.
those sidewalks are pretty,
Yeah,
we've done patchwork and
Yeah.
fixed them up. And one of the big problems is there's tripping hazards there.
I was just
Those
about to-
locust trees,
Yeah. Yeah, they forced them.
if we're putting ADA sidewalk in on the back side of the building, if we're gonna have ADA compliant sidewalks out in the front, we can't have trees in the middle of the sidewalk.
Plus the one near Pepitini 1, I've tripped over that one. 2, I know they put in the Belgian blocks around it,
Yes.
which, while they look nice, are somewhat of a tripping hazard
Yeah.
too.
So I approached, I shouldn't say I approached, they approached me about the sidewalk and then, or doing the, in the rear. And then after going and looking at it and looking things over, those 3 locust trees should come down. The sidewalk be replaced. I can actually get the sidewalk replaced this year, and I have the funds available to do it.
Okay.
In conjunction with that, I talked to the owners of the property
Hmm.
and told them, so if we're gonna take the trees down, it's gonna improve your building, make things better. We want something in return that's gonna kinda.
Yeah.
So I talked them into doing like pollinator planters out
Hmm.
front. Doing a couple of those one on like River Avenue, one on Idlewild Avenue.
Right.
If we're gonna lose the trees, maybe we can have some type of flowers, something
Right.
maybe you could change in and out, do mums in the fall.
Got it.
Is the concern about the trees that the roots spread and
Well,
mess with the sidewalk over time, or is
The
it?
root spread lifts the sidewalks, obviously, and now there's, 5x5 open dirt
Spaces,
spots
yeah.
in the sidewalk closest to the road.
And it's not ADA, one of them is not ADA compliant.
Yeah,
So obviously I'd be concerned about that, but the
Mm.
trees absolutely make the block shade, the look of it. It absolutely improves business results typically when there's street trees and shade trees on a street. So I'd be concerned about losing trees. Replacing them, I get it, if they're a problem and we can reconfigure how
not the
they're
best
growing.
Trees either.
Yeah, locusts, I know, they
trees
drop
are-
stuff and,
They're-
yeah.
They're messy.
But I mean, just taking them down and then replacing them with something waist high or whatever is, to me, not a great trade. But if they need to be replaced because they're messing with the sidewalk now and they're not making enough room for it to be ADA compliant and stuff, I would say if we could put
Is there
trees back
room
in,
to
that would
do-
be my
Is
preference.
there room to do a sidewalk replacement with
Well,
tree
see,
replacement?
One of the problems there is that Storm King Lounge and Fair, I believe do they have the permit for outdoor dining? Like,
I'm not sure
Like
if they
all
have
the
the
other
permit, but they
restaurants
do, but I do remember when this came up, they do have I don't know, I can't remember if they applied for it, but it is part of it. They can have
because
outdoor
if you have
dining.
outdoor dining, you've got 3 feet to get by where the trees are. If the trees weren't there, you would have the ADA compliant sidewalk.
I gotta look at it.
I mean, if you want to look at
Yeah,
the
I'd
big
have to see it
picture,
more.
I have, there's a bigger map here.
What would they do for a dumpster?
The dumpster's gonna be an enclosure.
Is that the proposed enclosed storage building at the back?
Yep. That's what the finished product's supposed to look like.
Oh, those dumpsters.
And that's all contingent on us giving them the go ahead, obviously, because
Mm.
he's gotta get the building permit for the entrance
Mhm.
and all that stuff. I mean, Manny's working with them to get that stuff done, but
Hmm.
Who's their engineer?
honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember.
I haven't dealt with the engineer, I've been
Yeah.
dealing with them.
Well, if the trees were,
Well,
yeah,
just survey.
yeah, just for this, yeah. If the trees were to be replaced, Dave, what sort of tree would you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to seriously think about that.
Go to the list.
The list.
Yeah. Well, any thoughts?
I have to look at it.
I gotta look at
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
get
I
more
gotta-
info.
I wanna go down.
I
and
mean,
Good to
look
know.
at 'em.
I love that
Should
they'd
go
be
down.
improving the back and
Go down
doing.
and, go down and look
doing
at
all
it.
that.
Yeah, we will.
And
Yeah,
I'm available by phone next week.
okay,
No, we should look, we gotta look at it.
yeah,
I have the vision, but let's see.
And when you do, just keep
I
in
know the
mind, if we
sidewalk's
allow
there.
outside dining
yeah,
where the trees are and somebody with a wheelchair.
yeah.
Have they talked about doing outside dining?
There used to be outside dining
They
there
still have
for all the
tables
other
out there.
restaurants, yeah.
There's tables out there. I don't know if they have
Yeah, I just
service
never
out
saw
there, but there
anybody
are
sitting.
Yeah.
tables out there. I've seen people sit out there, but not to eat their meal, so
Yeah.
to speak.
But I know from the I
That
know
was,
from looking
that
at the
came from COVID,
application.
though. Came from COVID.
Well, the trestle had outside
Yeah.
seating too, so I'm not sure.
The
if
ones
it came
prior to
from
them
COVID
had
or not.
outside eating
Yeah, they
too.
did have,
Yeah.
the trestle had,
Yeah.
the trestle, Nikki was the first one to get the outside dining
Yeah.
when it was Nikki's.
All right, so let's, everyone take a look this week and we can regroup on Monday. Thank you, Dave.
You can have those.
All right.
When would you need an answer, Dave, on the sidewalk part?
What's that?
When would you need an answer on the sidewalk part of it? Is that time
I mean,
specific?
if we want to get it in this year, just, before the weather gets terrible.
Yeah.
And our sidewalk has been completed, obviously, on Bayview Avenue. I'm sure you guys all saw that. And in
Yes.
front of the Presbyterian Church, those are all done. We just have to do the crosswalks, have to be rearranged now. We haven't had time to get to that yet.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Dave. Moving on to the fire department stipend, the training stipend. Charlie, I read through it again, just a couple of questions. One is, I know, I'm assuming we're eligible that you submitted the fire reporting for the previous calendar year and the complete the annual fire department demographics form. Okay. With respect to your report of August, are these classes? These will be given by through December 31st of this year.
No, those are what have been taken by members
Oh,
since January 1st.
okay.
Oh, year to date. Yeah, it says at the top.
Okay. Okay. I was looking at it because you have proposed stipends. I see what you're saying. Okay. So the next thing is, in looking through this, how the state, I know we pay you and the state, according to this, and I'm trying to refresh my recollection here, is the state obviously secured $10 million to do this back in 2023. And certain classes, the state will kick in some of the stipend, correct?
There are a couple of classes that the state pays all of the
All of it.
stipends.
Okay.
Yes, the 2 parts of firefighter 1
Mhm.
and fire officer 1. They pay for all of that. They don't pay for anything else.
Got it. And have we sent any of our fire service members to either one of those?
Yes,
Okay. And the state's they've already paid for that.
they haven't paid yet, but
Okay. You have to submit, then they reimburse. You pay up front, then they reimburse.
you don't even pay up front. They have their own special W-9. I didn't know New
Okay.
York State had its own W-9, so it's just paperwork stuff.
Got it.
It will not affect the village at all.
Okay. I got that. All right. Yeah, okay. So I know we had spoken about this at the last meeting. I think for next year, you're going to include in your budget, in your proposed budget for the year, how many classes, how many people, and the total amount, right?
I can do that.
Okay, we'll do that because this is not just applicable to this year. Okay. So for this year, are there, I don't have it with me and I can't remember if you gave us one, and that is for the remainder of the year.
So the county just
Okay.
announced a bunch of classes.
Okay.
We don't have firefighters signed up for them yet.
Okay.
But in the next week or so, we should get an idea of who's attending.
Okay, so then we'll have all right. So, and those classes are through December 31st, Charlie? So is that what they do, or how much time period does it cover?
I think it covers about 2 months.
2 months? Okay. And they begin when, in October or in September?
September, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then, you know what? Look, I think the board wants to support this. I think we just need to know the number. Can you give us, because we can vote on it Monday night, can you give us a projection of how many firefighters want to attend, what the classes are, and what the amounts will be?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Because I think on that, since it covers a 2-month period, then after that one's done, you can come back and tell us if there are additional classes that the firefighters want to attend. All right.
Very good.
Easy. Okay. Very good on that. Okay, property maintenance. This is in regards to 10 Washington, where the property that we had the hearing about, just to keep the board informed. It was not this past Friday, 2 Fridays ago, the property pursuant to our plan and the results of our hearing, we engaged a sufficient amount of time going by, which was 30 days, and serving the owner of the property. We engaged was it Foley, Dave? Foley, to clean up the property, the outside of the property. And they spent at least half a day there. And I believe it was three,
I think they had at least six people.
right, and like 3 dumpsters, not
Three
the
roll-offs.
3 roll-offs, filled with stuff. They cleaned up the property as best they could.
Outside was cleaned up. It was cleaned up.
Yes, so we're very happy about that. Part 2 of that now is the interior, and Joe McKay is not here, but he has spoken to us in previous meetings. And part 2 is, as I said, getting the interior cleaned up because of lack of a better term, the clutter and the amount of stuff that's inside the house, which makes it somewhat unlivable. Health hazard, right? And fire hazard, correct. So with that, Joe McKay's office has to, at this point, go to Supreme Court. I think it's going to end up being potentially surrogate's court because of the ownership of the property or whose name it's in. And then we go from there. So the village has gotten to the point where we need to, and now the next thing, we can't make another move on the property until we get court authorization to do something. This is going to take several months to do. There's no doubt about it. So all I ask is that, and they have been, the neighbors on Washington Street have been patient. So they just have to be even more patient. It'll happen. It's just going to take some time, and we'll keep everybody apprised of how things are progressing. All right. The Armistead plaque placement. So right next to Carol and Mary is the wreck of the Armistead, which is really heavy, which the Cornwall Yacht Club has given to us. And as you know, the remainder of the Armistead is kind of their breakwater point outside the yacht club. But they gave us that plaque. They had it on their property. The board has discussed it. We're going to put that up near about 20 yards from the shelter next to, there's a hut there that has a display of the native plants and birds that are in the area. So we're going to put it over there. And Dave, I've spoken to Dave about it. We're
going to work on something to weatherproof it a little better.
Right. All right. And we appreciate the Cornwall Yacht Club providing that to us. Okay. Fire truck prepayment option. I know, Dan, did you want to speak to that, or can you speak to that? That's the question, I guess. Or is that something?
It's unlikely that Dan would speak to
You
it.
Oh, God, I'm sorry, Dan. I'm saying Dan, I'm thinking water department. I know. Sorry, Charlie.
Not much more than what was there. The rep from Pierce contacted us to ask if the village was interested in making payment on the pumper tanker to reduce the cost of it. It's a time value of money calculation.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do the math. It doesn't look like great bargains to me.
Yeah, I'm looking.
But it's an arithmetic question.
Right. It's either Mike has indicated, not Dan, but Mike has indicated that's a 6% return on the prepayment amount, and we're getting 4.1 on our was it the night class account? But it is the value of money. So,
How much have we paid in for the pumper tanker already? We put money down at the beginning, right?
No.
Oh, nothing. Oh, okay.
yeah. Well,
I mean,
consider.
that was
Yeah.
Good.
4 years ago. So
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, we're gonna have to put something down.
We're gonna have to pay them eventually,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
So does this,
exactly.
how far in advance of when we would otherwise get an invoice? Like what is the, How much is the prepayment here?
I think they would be looking for it now.
It says net 45.
Right, but when do we, otherwise, if we don't prepay, when are we paying?
December 20.
When they deliver it,
26th.
on delivery.
And then I don't know how the bonds work.
Yeah,
I think my understanding, the first payment would be a year after that.
yeah, if you ban, first we do the ban, so yes, there's a delay in the first payment. And then typically you could then roll it into a long-term bond. So, and Megan and I met with our bond person for that, our financial person on that, and I'll go over that with the board. But, so, I mean, look, either sooner or later, we gotta put something down. So consider it. I'll give you some more information on Monday in regard to the ban and the bond stuff. I don't know how much it's gonna, I'd have to take a look at it with you, Megan, I know.
Yeah.
And you don't have the answer now, I know. Charlie,
And Pierce, we want to know by October.
that's my next question, October 1? Can you find out, can you,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
okay, great, that would be helpful. Response, okay. Yeah, that would be very helpful, okay. All right, dude, let me just see this, prepare due date. All right, film your best medicine, we've already gone over that because we had the resolution. And water main replacement change order. Chart change order.
That was the allowance order.
Oh, the
that
change,
came
yes,
in
and
under the
Tiffany
price.
already pointed that out.
Yeah.
Yes, we didn't expend all the monies that we had available. So we saved, how much did Mike say? Right here.
19%.
Yeah. Instead of spending 235,000, we've only spent the change order, reduced it, so we're down to 191,000. All right, so that is very, very good news. I think that's it on the FYI. So moving on to,
I did, just, I don't know if you'd like to entertain a moment. I see Mary Donahue is here, but that email I sent earlier, the Donahue committee met the other day and I gave you all a rundown of a few of the things, but one of them was the question of the condition of the roof of the residence there, so. You own the
Mary,
agenda,
tell us
sir.
all about it. What's the story with the roof?
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I see you here and
Anne Lafarge is here.
Is that why you came?
It needs a roof, but if you just give me something by the end of October on the addition, because that's the part that's gonna bleed first. Mainly
Okay,
because it is covered with moss right at the moment. And it's due to the walnut tree, which is not coming down.
okay. Okay, yeah, I guess what we have to decide is whether or not we're,
You have to RFP that.
yeah, are we gonna replace the roof? Because it's a regular asphalt roof right now.
we have.
And the question is whether or not we
One-time
replace it with
carpeting
a
quote through the
matching
county contract.
metal
If
roof.
they still have it.
They have that.
I don't
Supposedly.
worry about that.
Yeah,
I
you're
worry
just worried
about the
about-
addition right at the moment.
Yes,
And I want blue tarp over it.
What was it?
Oh,
And
you
it's gotta
have,
be by the end of October.
Build the dig,
okay.
collect
All right.
it properly.
Aesthetically, I don't really care what it looks like.
yeah, all right, okay.
I don't know.
We'll take a look at it, Mary. We'll address it. We'll
Well,
address it.
I saved you 58,000
No,
by doing the shed,
yes,
so,
Mary, I'm not complaining.
yeah.
Understood.
And I don't think it will require as much as what's on the shed.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, no.
All right, I'll come out, Dave, I'll take a look with you. You obviously take a look and then we have to see what the estimate might be and whether or not we have to bid it out.
It would depends if we can piggyback on the county contract.
Right.
again,
Yes,
If they're available.
yeah.
But I mean, the last time I think there was an issue, but I don't know if that's all worked out now.
Okay,
If not, then we do have to go to bid.
right,
Because it's gonna be probably over 35,000,
okay.
and it's a public works contract.
Yep. Well, that's exactly what I wanted to know, but I was thinking about the jumping on the Orange County.
Yeah, I think the committee believes that they have a valid quote in hand on that contract at the moment, but I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
Can't remember.
all right.
That or else gonna have all your phone numbers, so when it starts to leak, you can all come down and cook us.
All right, we will address that, Mary.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, moving on to FYI. So what we have is the Board of Fire Commissioners meeting on September 9th at 6 PM. Zoning Board meeting September 11th at 7 PM, which reminds me, do we have, let me move on. Congressman Pat Ryan's Fall Service Academy Day is September 13th from 11 AM to 2 PM. And that is an information session, and that's at Marist College in Doyle Hall. So any parents or high schooler who wants to potentially go to a service academy, they can go meet with the congressman and his staff and to talk about it. September 13th is the Cornwall Cleanup Crew's storage shed ribbon cutting at 10 AM. We have our village board business meeting on September 15th, 7 PM. The planning board meeting is September 16th at 7 PM. The Motivate 5K is on October 4th at 8 AM. And I got a letter from Orange County. You can obtain a compost bin or rain barrel from the county. I think it's I can't remember if it was for free, but very inexpensive. I'm almost positive it's for free if you order it by September 17th. And let me just check if I have anything else.
Mr. Mayor, I
Yes,
bought one
yes.
from them last year.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I purchased, the green barrel from them last.
Okay, so it is a purchase, all right.
But it was much more
And it's very inexpensive, right,
compared
right.
to- And
Yep.
it's very good quality also.
Excellent, thank you. Yes, Tiffany.
Not taking its place in the village, but Cornwall and Hudson Special Events
Ooh.
is hosting Dirty Dancing at Riverlight Park at 6 PM on the 20th. So if anybody is so
Right up,
inclined,
it's actually on the border with the village.
well, thank you, Deputy Mayor. But it is hosted by COH Special Events,
You can see
so.
it from the village.
You can, exactly. And as usual, it
Dirty
is.
Dancing is behind the ice house in the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riverlight Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The park starts at
Always free
I'm
to the
just
public,
checking.
no cost.
I thought it was at the Blind Home, Mary.
Oh, I know.
Horizons.
Chief, was the
That was a good place.
Buffalo Soldier, was that this past weekend? Yes, it was. Okay, just wanted to make sure of that. Where we got that?
Mr. Mayor, I
Yes,
have one update on the fire truck payment. They need to know by October, they would need to have the money by December, 1 year before it's scheduled to be delivered.
so by the end of October, you said.
You didn't say.
They need to know in October if they need the money by December.
Oh, gotcha, understood. I didn't hear that. Gotcha, perfect. Okay, thank you very much. So we just need to know at this point, when in October we have to tell them.
Yes.
So find that out, Charlie, yeah. I think we have our bandstand music tomorrow night, right? That's at 6 o'clock. And there's only, I think, 3 left. I think that's it. So, okay, any alibis?
I'm gonna be out of town, We're leaving tomorrow.
And for when do you get
I'll be
back?
Back Monday.
Okay. All right.
I think I read that.
Anything from anyone else?
The Donahue Committee has a demo kayak rack available for review and viewing at the farm. And they're gonna give a complete recommendation and request as to how many they want to put down at the waterfront and the market cost of the timber used.
Okay, yeah,
And
and
if
I
we just go
had,
down there, it's somewhere where we can see
Yeah,
it,
well,
or
I
should
saw,
we
last
call
I saw it was out and it looks like it would take a heavy thing to move it. So I think it's
So
still there.
it's right out
Mary, is it still out in front of the, yeah, it's beautiful.
So they
It's
built.
amazing.
Something.
Yeah, yeah.
It's 12
Yeah.
kayaks.
6 on one, I think.
And how
Or
many,
does you
Yeah,
put
but
2 by 2 on each of those?
You can do 2
uprights?
by
do you
2.
remember how many we
well,
figured?
I think the general idea was 3 with 5 slots for yacht club
Yes.
vessels and then the rest. But and they know about the panel that's there for the EV charger, so they're gonna configure it in such a way. They did ask where the fence would.
yeah,
end up.
I told Deke that there's actually 2 pieces of tape where we put, where it ends, that's heading down towards the water, and where it ends, going down Shore Road. It's pretty easy to identify. It's almost like 27 by 8 feet or 7 feet, but I could show them again. I showed somebody else, but I'll show,
Yeah, I
I'll
told them
show
also
Deke.
you could show.
And the idea there too is when that fence, when we put the kayaks in, that chain link fence will all come down. I spoke to Deke about it to have matching. We want to put up a nice wooden fence that will be pleasant to look at and matches our kayak racks too. So Deke was working on that.
And did he mention to you, he said, when they shot the episode of Best Medicine using the chapel as the sheriff's office, they put a nice wooden fence
Fence
on the
around,
inside to hide the ugly side of
Right,
it.
right. So, all right. So, anything else?
Is it still there? That's nice. They approved it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Got you there, Dave.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
So, 49.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Charlie. Thanks, Dan.
Good night.